special segment on vet tips and practices. Here's Vet Call with Dr. E. Good morning, Dr. Easterwood. How are you doing today?
Morning, Rebecca. Thanks for having me. I'm doing good.
Yeah, well, we appreciate everybody watching this. You can watch it at Southern Horse Talk YouTube channel, and you can go over to the Southern Horse Talk Facebook group to join the conversation over there. Every month we have Dr. Easterwood come on and tell us some things about, vet tips and practices and just sharing his knowledge with us. And this month we wanted to talk about dental floating. So first of all, just explain what floating is.
Well, dental floating, or what we call floating, is really actually a process where we go in and grind horses' teeth down to make them smooth and flat, to give them a nice flat surface for horses to chew on and to basically be able to masticate their food properly or chew their food properly. Horses' teeth grow throughout their life, so their teeth never really stop growing. So we don't think about cleaning a horse's teeth like you do, say, a dog or a cat's teeth or even our teeth. We're focused more on having them shaped properly and giving them a good surface again where they can chew their food on.
Okay. Well, that's one thing I've always wondered about. With the sugars in the grass, do their teeth ever get cavities, or do they rot?
Not usually. Their teeth are formulated a little bit differently. The enamel of their teeth is much harder, so sometimes they can get cracks and some cavities in their teeth, but they don't typically lead to problems or cause pain like you think about in our teeth. And again, when they do get those small cavities, a lot of times they tend to grow out because the horse's teeth continue to grow.
So I guess basically just tell people what happens in the procedure when you do a floating.
Well, usually we got a couple different ways you can float a horse's teeth, and I tend to like to use what's called a power float, or it's an electric-driven motor. And it attaches to a specialized handpiece like this. There's a lot of different variations of it, but this is one here. You can see it's got a guard on it that protects the horse's mouths from being injured and their tongue. But this rotary piece here, it's a burr, and it spins and it'll grind off the tooth enamel pretty quickly, and it takes it down real nice and evenly. And then some people still choose to use what's called hand floats or manual floats, and they're basically just like oversized files, and you have different lengths and shapes. This one's angled here, you can see, but it's also got a file on it, and this is pretty rough. And again, you insert this into the horse's mouth and can pull it back and forth to grind off the horse's teeth how you want it. But like I said, usually we have to tranquilize the horse to achieve that. And we also have to put a specialized speculum on their mouth to open their mouth up, because their teeth run so far into the back of their mouth where we can really reach back there and float the back molars as well.
Okay. And is there an optimal length that you're shooting for, or how do you know when to stop the floating?
Not necessarily an optimal length, and it takes a little bit of experience to know when to stop, but usually we just like to have a nice flat surface and eliminate any sharp points or hooks. Horses can also get what we call step mouths, and that's basically what it sounds like. Their teeth can kind of grow into step formations, and also they can begin to get some waves in it. So we just like to flatten that out real nice and smooth.
Okay. And what are some other common dental procedures that you perform?
Well, the most common one that we perform in conjunction with dental floating is a wolf tooth extraction. And that can be, a lot of times young horses will have a small vestigial tooth that comes in, and we try to remove those so they don't interfere with the bit later on in life.
Okay. All right. And so how often? Go ahead.
I was going to say, we also try to address any problems that horses may be having, any type of ulcers in their mouths, or, if anything, they ever have a broken tooth or any type of problems like that. We commonly see those sometimes and have to go in and fix those type of issues as well. A lot of times we have to extract broken teeth or infected teeth in horses.
Okay. All right. And how often should horse owners float their horse's teeth?
Just for general maintenance, unless you're having any type of problems, we usually like to check their teeth at least once a year and float them. A lot of horses won't need it that often. Some of them can go, in 2 years in between. So it just depends on the horse. But usually you like to have your vet check them once a year to make sure that everything is looking good.
Okay, awesome. All right, well, thanks for sharing your knowledge with us today, Dr. E. Appreciate it.
All right, Rebecca. Thank y'all for having me.
All right, and folks, if you want to find more information about Dr. E, you can go to easterwoodequine.com or call 205-663-4000. I'm Becca Salmon. This is Southern Horse Talk. You can find more at Southern Horse Talk YouTube and over on the Southern Horse Talk Facebook group. Thank you.